This was not a policy led by politicians. This was very much down to Sweden's public health authorities. Yeah. You've spoken to the man who devised it, essentially.
Yeah, so it's interesting that the politicians are taking, publicly at least, a very backseat position on this. It's the Swedish public health agencies, doctors and scientists, they're the ones who are telling the politicians what to do. And the politicians are saying, if they change their minds, we'll change our minds too, in a heartbeat. But what they're not doing at the moment is changing their minds. Now, as you said, I've spoken to the main guy there, Anders Tegnell. He's the state epidemiologist. He's the sort of Chris Whitty of Sweden, if you like. And I put to him that point that Cecilia just made, that Sweden was in a boat with the UK, both outliers, until Britain left, and Sweden decided to stay the course. Why did they do that?
I think one of the main reasons is that we didn't experience the same rapid increase in number of cases and deaths that you did. And that's why we managed to keep on this a little bit more low-key interventions.
What some people say is that those countries that have taken more drastic measures earlier have shown better results. Are you not worried you may be leaving it too late?
I don't know, and I don't know how true that is. It depends on what measures you're taking and on what timeline you're taking. I mean, we are following very much the same path as Denmark. Denmark has taken a lot of much more drastic measures than we have. This is quite difficult right now because I think many countries are in different stages in this pandemic that we're all experiencing. And I think it's a little bit dangerous to look too much to exactly what's happening now. You need to see it in a bit more long term.
How confident are you that you've got this right?
I don't think any can be seriously confident about getting this right, since this has never happened before. And neither the drastic measures that you're taking in UK and many other countries, nor the little bit more lenient measures that we have taken in Sweden has ever been tried before.
What would be the disadvantage of a more wide-ranging lockdown?
Oh, I mean, the consequences would be much, much more dramatic. I mean, we know, for example, if we close down the schools in Sweden, we lose like 20-25% of the workforce. And especially in the healthcare sector. And in the healthcare sector in Sweden, we cannot afford to lose 25% of our workforce. Then the healthcare will basically stop. The other thing is that we really believe that this kind of measures we are taking here is something we can keep on doing for a long, long time. While we don't see that it's possible to keep schools closed, to keep borders closed for more than a very limited amount of time.
Do you think the British government made a mistake in changing tack?
I don't know. Maybe we will know one day. I'm not quite sure we will ever know, because I think it looks more and more that most countries will go through the same thing, more or less independent of what kind of measures they are taking.
When will you know whether you've made the right decision?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's the same answer to that. We continuously watch over what's happening in Sweden, and we continuously watch over what's happening in the rest of the world. And we are more than prepared to change into doing more things if there is a reason to that, either that our increase is getting very rapid or that we see that somebody else has done something that works very well that would also work in Sweden.
You must be under incredible pressure. There must be moments of self-doubt.
Yeah, I mean, there's always self-doubt. I'm sure that the British and the Germans and the Italians, everybody has self-doubt because, as I said, nobody has ever done this before. There is no prescription on how to do it. We're all trying to do our best in the situation where we are.